Okay, so what if you could get a cheat sheet on a self-made millionaire's biggest financial mistakes before you actually make them yourself? Today, we're diving into 4 super powerful habits from investor and YouTuber Graham Stephan. These are the very things he wishes he had figured out back in his 20s. So to really get why his advice is worth listening to, let's start with the number you see on the screen. That translates to roughly 20 million US dollars, which is Graham Stephan's approximate net worth. And he built all of that through real estate and, you won't believe it, YouTube. The point is, he's not just talking theory, he's actually lived this stuff. But hey, this isn't going to be some boring lecture on how to get rich. Instead, we're going to look back at his biggest regrets and the really crucial lessons he learned the hard way. So, what are the 4 things he wishes he could go back and tell his 20-year-old self? All right, let's start with the absolute foundation of it all, the bedrock of building any kind of wealth. It's a concept that sounds so simple, yet it's where most of us trip up right at the starting line. So habit number 1 is all about controlling your money. Now, I know it sounds obvious, but it really boils down to this one simple, non-negotiable rule. You have to spend less than you earn. That's the first step, and honestly, without it, none of the other habits even matter. Okay, this slide right here, this shows a trap that almost everyone falls into. The second you get that first real paycheck, the temptation to upgrade everything is just massive. You go from a student budget, instant noodles and roommates, to a first job budget with daily Starbucks, a way nicer apartment, maybe some designer clothes. And look, you feel like you've earned it, right? But this is exactly where the trouble starts. This whole thing has a name, lifestyle inflation. And trust me, it's a silent wealth killer. As Graham points out, it never, ever stops at just one coffee. That expensive coffee makes you want a fancy pastry to go with it. That one designer shirt makes you feel like you need the matching pants and shoes. Every little upgrade just creates a new, higher standard of living, making it almost impossible to actually save anything. But here's the thing. If you can fight that urge, you get to use the single most powerful asset you have as a young person. And it's not money, it's not your connections. So what is it? Yep, it's time. Time is the secret weapon that can turn tiny amounts of money into an actual fortune. All thanks to this incredible, almost magical thing called compound interest. In this chart, wow, it just shows you everything you need to know. Look at this. Let's say you invest just $1 at age 20. By the time you're 60, it can grow to over 21 bucks. But wait just 10 years, and start at 30, that same dollar only gets you to 10. This is incredible. Starting just a decade earlier more than doubles your money, all because you gave it more time to do its thing. All right, let's move on to habit number 2. So once you've got your spending under control, the next move is to build a solid financial reputation. And for Graham, this was a massive regret, and it all came down to one word: credit. You see, Graham admits that for years, he was totally terrified of credit cards. He just saw them as these evil debt traps and was super proud of using his debit card for everything, thinking he was being the smart one. But what he realized later was that he was actually holding himself back. He was so focused on it being a source of debt that he completely missed that it could be a really powerful tool. So here's the big mindset shift he talks about. Start thinking of your credit score as your life's financial GPA. It's not about how much debt you have. It's like a report card that shows how reliable you are with money. A high score tells banks and lenders you're a safe bet, which means you get way better interest rates on cars, houses, and loans, saving you literally thousands of dollars. So how do you actually build up this financial GPA without, falling into that debt trap? It's a really simple 2-step process. Go ahead and use your credit card for your regular purchases, but, and listen, this is the most important part, you have to pay the entire balance off in full every single month. Don't even think about just paying the minimum. That's how you get all the rewards and benefits without any of those horrible interest charges. Okay, that brings us to habit number 3, and this one is all about your mindset. It's about making that shift from being a passive student who's told what to do to being the active person who designs their own career. Think about it. In school, the path is pretty much laid out for you, right? Teachers guide you, goals are set for you, but the second you step into your career, all that structure just vanishes. Nobody's going to hand you a syllabus for success anymore. The people who really get ahead are the ones who don't wait around to be told what to do. They're out there creating their own goals and their own opportunities. And that kind of proactive mindset leads us straight into the final habit: taking calculated risks, especially when you've got the safety net of being young on your side. And Graham has a perfect personal story for this one. He had this idea to start a YouTube channel, but he waited an entire year to do it. Why? Because he was afraid he'd look silly or that he'd fail. Well, he finally took that risk, and today that silly little YouTube channel actually earns him more money than his entire real estate portfolio. Just think about that. That 1 year of just hesitating cost him an absolute fortune. And this is exactly why taking these kinds of calculated risks, starting a side hustle, changing careers, learning a new skill, it's just so much easier when you're young. If you fail, you have decades to recover. You probably have fewer big responsibilities holding you back. And as Graham's story just showed us, the potential reward can be completely life-changing. Okay, so as we wrap this up, let's just pull all 4 of these powerful ideas together. Graham had to learn these lessons over years and years, but you have the huge advantage of getting to learn them right now.
So here they are, one last time, the 4 habits to start like right now. First, get a grip on your money by crushing that lifestyle inflation. Second, build up your financial reputation by treating credit as a powerful tool, not a trap. Third, be the one who takes initiative and creates your own success. And fourth, take smart risks now while you have time on your side.
The whole point of this isn't just to listen, it's about taking action. So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. 10 years from now, when you look back at the person you are today, what's the one decision, the one habit, or the one risk you'll be so incredibly thankful that you started?